What is Blue Tokai today? Is it, it has a change, it has all these products. How do you define yourself? Because you can, I mean, best way to be say it's omni-channel. You can do both.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, we look at I think of it as a coffee company. So whatever channel it is that we can reach customers who want to have a good cup of coffee, that's where we want to be. So the cafes are like a good channel for us for growing the brand and educating customers. But also at the same time, like I like to go to cafes. So when I want to go for a coffee, I like I would like to be able to go to one of our cafes wherever I
Right.
am in the country. The same way with each of the channels is targeting a different customer.
With the launch of all these hyperlocal services, Zomato, Swiggy, etc., um, did did you see the convenience reduce? From people buying coffee online to just ordering cups from the locations? Was that a shift you saw? Does that continue?
Yeah, it's interesting actually because my wife is a perfect example of this. So before the lockdown, even though we have access to all of the equipment and all of the coffee, she would order coffee from the cafe through Swiggy every single day. Now during the lockdown, she got used to brewing coffee at home, and so now she brews coffee at home every day, even though the cafes are still open and she could go back to ordering. It's just that now, once you get used to a particular habit, it's you stick with that for some time. So I was asking her why do you do this now? You used to order every day and you can order again. And she's like, yeah, once if I start ordering for 5 days again in a row, then I'll stop brewing at home and uh, I'll keep ordering from the cafes. So I think people get kind of stuck in their habits, and then it takes some shift to happen, and then they get stuck on the new habit.
But I would also imagine that when you order, you can actually pick different rows or different beans every time you have a coffee,
Yeah.
which you typically wouldn't recommend you having five different grinds at home.
Yeah, but so I think it's very most customers just want something that tastes good and the same thing every time. I don't think that it's only a very small segment of the market that really enjoys experimenting with different coffees and different brewing methods and different flavors at different times. Most people have, okay, this is my drink. I'm going to order this with this particular coffee and have it regularly.
Coming to that point where people like it in a certain way, etc. I've seen that the baristas at Dutokai be very different from the baristas I would see in say any other location. What kind of effort goes into training and managing some of these staff?
Yeah, so we have a training department. We have training managers in all of the cities that we operate. We have training centers in Delhi, Bombay, and Bangalore. So there's a classroom portion that happens before people come to the cafes. There's on the job portion of the training that goes into it. There's regular audits that happen and tests where people get to get promoted from one level of barista to another level. So a lot of our focus went into developing baristas as a skill, because actually it is a skill. In maybe 3, 4, 5 years ago, people thought of a barista as just a very low skill, low wage position, where actually it takes a lot of effort to make a good cup of coffee, one, but also to engage with customers. Uh, that's as important, if not more so important, than being able to make a good cup of coffee. And that is really difficult to teach people. It's quite easy to teach someone how to operate the equipment in the right manner and froth the milk properly and pull a good shot. It's much harder to teach someone how to interact with customers and give them what they want and deal with complaints and guide people to finding beverages that suit their particular taste profile.
So do you choose, certain, because I would imagine there's certain IQ and EQ that comes with doing that. Um, how do you pick them? I'm guessing you don't get them from the market, straight up.
No, initially we would hire people who had coffee backgrounds because we thought that would give a sort of a leg up in with the training. But then a lot of those people with coffee backgrounds didn't have the soft skills. So then our whole hiring process changed, where we prioritized people who were able to come into an interview and explain a concept and could demonstrate some analytical abilities in the interview, and those were prioritized over people who had coffee experience. Um, but at the same time, it's hiring is hard, not only at all levels of the organization. So it's not like we have it down to an exact science. We've gotten better, but there's always room to improve there.
So you would say that some of these positions are now like aspirational jobs. Like if I want to be a minister at Blue Tokai.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely it's become there's more there's some level of prestige associated with it. I think not just at Blue Tokai, but at any of these premium coffee companies, it's something that you can have a sense of pride in working at. Whereas I think before that maybe wasn't the case. I think also when you're paying people, like 10,000 rupees a month salary, the like that's not enough to live on. So then what is if that's sort of the salary based for this profession, then what can you really expect from people at that level? So we wanted to pay a better salary, but also equip people with skills to deliver a better experience to the customers.
That's amazing. I think it's always important, right? Because the people make the company, and investing in them is very important.